Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this edition of Classic Movie Buffet Theater. All right, yes, Classic Movie Buffet Theater is on the air, ladies and gentlemen. And today is Halloween, so happy Halloween, everybody. Hope you have a good one, or had a good one. Some of you have already been out trick or treating and got your candy, and things like that. So I hope everybody had a good one. Um, yeah. Okay. All right, and today we're going to go into another movie. Of course, it's comedy. Uh, I got tired of doing horror films all the time, so I decided to jump into a comedy. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm just kidding. I got you another horror film here, folks. It's Halloween. Why would I not do a horror film on Halloween? Okay, I mean, come on. We got to do a Halloween movie on Halloween. All right. Now, this movie was directed in 2006 by an up and comer, more or less, at the time, by the name of Adam Green. Now, he had directed other movies such as Digging Up the Marrow, Frozen, and not the cartoon Frozen. And he did 39 episodes of a TV series called, or it was either a TV series or it might have been actually a YouTube series called Horrified. And we are talking about Mr. Adam Green. And he directed the movie Hatchet in 2006. Now, Hatchet quickly became one of my favorite films because it stars the great and wonderful and stupendous Kane Hodder, who many of you know played Jason Voorhees in Friday the 13th. He also played in a film called Charlie's Farm, where he was not the killer. He actually played a friend of the main characters in that movie. And he also played in the film Wishmaster, and he played in the film Project Metal Beast. Now, in Project Metal Beast, he was the Metal Beast, okay? He was the monster in the film, which was a very good film. They were all good movies. I thoroughly enjoyed Charlie's Farm and Project Metal Beast both. Wishmaster, he only had like a small role in that, but it was a good one. The movie also stars Joel David Moore, who plays Ben, and he played in Dodgeball, a true underdog story, which was a great comedy. He also played in Avatar: Way of the Water, which I have not seen that yet. And he also played in Shark Night. Now, I have seen Shark Night. Of course, it's about sharks. So, yes, I've watched it. Dodgeball and Shark Night, pretty good movies. I don't know anything about Avatar. I've only watched the first one. Sorry. I mean, I do own it, but I have not watched it yet. So, excuse me again. Now, also, the movie stars Amara Zaragoza. Zaragoza? I think that's how you say that. And she played Mary Beth Dunstan. And she played in the film Perfect Stranger. I believe that was the one with Halle Berry and Bruce Willis, I think. She also played in a movie called Something's Wrong in Kansas. And she played in Elise Keels. Now, I've seen none of those. I have not seen any of those. But when I was looking up the info on her, the Elise Keels came up, and it looked like it was a slasher film. So I'm probably going to have to check that one out. So the plot for this movie is when a group of tourists in a New Orleans haunted swamp tour find themselves stranded in the wilderness, their evening of fun and spooks turns into a horrific nightmare. So let's get into the trailer for Hatchet. Here we go.
Once upon a time, there was a boy named Victor Crowley. Folks weren't too kind to Victor, so he stayed hidden in his daddy's house, out in the bayou. One night, some mean children came to his house, and there was a bad fire. When his daddy chopped down the door to save him, he didn't know Victor was pressed against the other side. And poor Victor Crowley died. They say people disappear in those woods. And legend has it, if you get close enough to the old Crowley house at night, you can still hear Victor Crowley roaming in the woods, crying for his dad.
I want to go home. We're all gonna die.
All right, that's the trailer for Hatchet from 2006, starring Kane Hodder. Um, the kills in this movie were fantastic. You could tell that they used practical effects when they made this film. Um, as I've said so many times before, I feel like CGI, too much CGI ruins a movie. Now I know there are some things that you cannot do with that you just can't do with practical effects. So I understand the reason for the existence of CGI, but in my opinion, most of the time when you're watching a film and they use CGI to do something that they could have done with practical effects, it's just a cheap way out. I know that may not be true. I know it may be more expensive to use CGI as far as budget goes. But to me, if you use practical effects as much as possible in a film, it shows your love for making movies. I honestly believe CGI is just a cheap man's way out of getting out of doing something they could do practical with practical effects. Now, like I said, there are some things that you can't do with CG that you just can't do with practical effects. You have to use CGI, and I understand that. But too much of it is bad. Is bad. Look at Jeepers Creepers Reborn. That whole movie was CGI, the whole damn thing, and it was terrible. Okay, so I mean, they get an A for effort, and considering the time frame that they were making that movie in during the pandemic, yeah, they had to use CGI, and it showed, and the movie was terrible. I'm sorry, but it was just terrible. Okay, so the practical effects in this film are awesome. The characters are cool. I absolutely love Kane Hodder as Victor Crowley. There is no better character that he could have stepped into playing better than Victor Crowley from playing Jason. Um, his mannerisms are pretty much are different than Jason, that of Jason Voorhees, which is what's so cool. Now I know he's played like different killers in different films. He did a lot of stunt work, leading up to this role as Jason. I mean, he did stunts for Stallone. He did stunts for Schwarzenegger. He did stunts for all those guys, and different stunts throughout. And some of the stunts even included him being playing a role in the film. He played a role in Hatchet, where he did. I mean, not Hatchet, but he played a role in Wishmaster as a security guard. Uh, I mean, just little roles like that, and you can always point him out. I mean, he's iconic. So this movie was terrific. It like I said, Adam Green directed all three of these. There was Hatchet, then there was Hatchet Two, and Hatchet Two added more icons of horror per se, because it had Danielle Harris came in and took over the role of Mary Beth Dunstan in part two. You also had Zach Galligan from Gremlins. He was in part two. And you also had Derek Mears who played Jason in Freddy versus Jason, was also in part two. And it had Gunnar Hansen from Texas Chainsaw Massacre fame playing in that movie as well, and there was a couple others as well. So it was a homage to 80s horror as far as part one and part two go. I mean, part one, it had its stars in it as well. I mean, Gunnar Hansen was in. Well, not there was a character that was in the first one that played in a horror film. I can't think of his name right off the bat. But then there was also Freddy Krueger played in the first Hatchet film. Uh, so I mean, they had horror characters all throughout the first two films. Uh, Part three, I don't think there was returning characters from the first two films in part three, but I don't think it was any kind of like horror icons that came back for part three, other than, of course, Victor Crowley, Kane Hodder. Um, but these were great films. But I am warning you that they were gory. There is a couple of raunchy scenes in the second one. I think there's one in the second one. So, just kind of be aware of that. But it's campy, 80s, slasher, gory goodness is what these movies are, okay? These movies are great. If you get a chance to watch all three films, please do. If you're a fan of 80s gore, 80s horror, slasher films, you'll love these movies. You will. You'll thoroughly enjoy these films. I love them. When I knew Kane Hodder was playing Victor Crowley, I had to watch him. I had to watch him. I'm a big fan of Kane Hodder. Always have been. Always will be. Um, Charlie's Farm that Kane Hodder played in was kind of a different role for him. Um, Pretty much per se. Um, he played more of a well, he was a best friend to the main character, like I said earlier. Um, and he wasn't the killer in that film, which was pretty cool. Uh, it lets you see his prowess as an actor in that film. So yeah, I was thoroughly enjoyed with the Hatchet series. Charlie's Farm's another good one. But this movie as a whole is a great film to watch. Like I said, if you haven't seen it before, please go and watch it. You will enjoy it immensely. It's a fantastic film. A fantastic film. Um, so with that being said, I'm going to end the video here. I hope everybody had a happy Halloween, and if you're doing it today, happy Halloween to everyone. Be safe. I've got a little thing I need to do today as far as Halloween goes. There will be photos posted. I may post them to the channel. I'm not sure. I may even try to film a little video uh, and make a special video for Halloween. I'm sure you guys are going to enjoy it, but stay tuned for that. Hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when that comes out, or when I post the photos. You'll see those. So today was Classic Movie Buffet Theater. Sunday will be Supernatural Sunday, where we talk about the next two episodes of season 5 that are my favorite episodes. Then we start back over on Tuesday with a Mike's Movie Rampage. Thank you so much for watching these videos. I hope you enjoy them. And I will hope to see you guys on Sunday for Supernatural Sunday. Till then, have a great weekend, guys. Thank you so much.